wanted to actually practice this problem without a picture, because that's a challenge in today's lesson, is drawing a picture, essentially a word problem with no picture. So it tells me to draw a right triangle, so let me draw a right triangle. With a side length of 6. Now, I have to think to myself that they did not say the hypotenuse. So, I know I'm not going to put a 6 here. Now, I could put a 6 here or a 6 here. Then it says, with a side length 6 includes a 27-degree angle. Now, if I had to be picky, which one is bigger? This angle here looks bigger than this one over here. So I'm going to put the 27 degrees up here. Now, if your triangle is differently orientated, that's okay. Now, it tells us something. A 27-degree angle is adjacent to the length of 6. So again, I said we could put the 6 here or here. Well, adjacent means next to, so I'm going to put the 6 here. Find the measures of the other two angles and the lengths of the other two sides. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and label my triangle. Some hints as you're doing this triangle. Capital letters mean angles. Class, what do the capital letters mean? Angles. And across the capital letters, you have lowercase letters. The lowercase letters represent sides. Class, what do the lowercase letters represent? So what would I write over here? Cross the B would be lowercase b. Cross capital A would be lowercase a, or side A. Okay? So essentially this is what we need to do. I need to solve for angles A, B, and C, and side lengths A, B, and C. And they've given us some answers, so let's go ahead and write down our answers. We know that angle B is equal to how many degrees? 27. We know that angle C is equal to 90 degrees. We know that side A is equal to 6. Partner B, tell partner A, what number should this equal to? And the other person explain what is the measure of angle A. Ready, set, go. Victoria, all three angles should add up to how many degrees? 180 degrees. So if I subtract 27 and 90 from 180 degrees, how much did you get? So I get 63 degrees, right? Triangle sum theorem basically says A plus B plus C equals 180. Blank plus blank plus blank equals 180 degrees. And that's how I found the third one. Let's solve for now side B. Now, you can solve for side B in a couple of ways. Let's use our given information, which was 27 degrees, and that'll be my starting point. Class, from 27 degrees, if I go across, what side is this called? That is the opposite side. And this side would be called the adjacent. And then this one would be called the hypotenuse. I'm going to eliminate the hypotenuse because there's nothing there. So that means I can eliminate which two trig functions? Sine and cosine. So now I have which trig function? So tangent of the angle. The angle's always right next to the trig function. So 27 degrees is the opposite over the adjacent? The opposite is lowercase b, and the adjacent? 6. Partner A, tell partner B, how do you solve this right here? What do you do next in math? Elvis, should I take the inverse? No. Class, we only take the inverse to find angles. We already have the angles. We're not going to do the inverse here. Elvis, what are we going to do? How do you do that? Correct? How do I do that? Now what do you do? Elvis, when I cross multiply, what do I get? Here's our calculator ready equation. Let's go ahead and punch it in. 6 tan 27, 6 tan 27. Let's round to the nearest hundredth. Does it tell us where to round? Let's do 3.06. Let's box that answer. And I can write that up here, 3.06. Did we talk about washing your hands? Yeah. We talked about washing our hands where I don't really want to use this number. I assume it's correct. I'd rather go back to the original problem, 27 degrees, and solve now for C. So how do you do that? Well, you can cover up. So in the last problem, you could say, well, although each of these have something, just cover that up. Like, how do I solve for B? Well, that's the opposite over the adjacent. Well, we've already solved for B. Let's solve for C now. Partner A, whisper to partner B which trig function and why. On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. We have A and H. That would be cosine. Cosine of 27 equals adjacent over the hypotenuse. So if you get confused, do this. In your triangle, in the beginning problem, just cover up something. I have a number, I have a variable, I can use a trig function. I have a variable, I have a number there, I can find a trig function. This is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Adjacent is 6. And hypotenuse is letter C. We're going to do the same thing as Elvis did. Cross multiply. Class is C by itself there.
Attention. The campus is now in a level 3 lockdown. Please proceed with the lockdown procedure.